So here's the Duramax. It's been sitting here in the garage since about March. So expensive to drive with diesel at $6 a gallon here in Eastern Washington. And I just don't need to be driving it since I still have the square body for work. So I've been working on clay barring this truck, polishing and waxing. So a little paint correction in the garage here. So I will make a video when I pull it out to turn it around about the window tint, because that is new. Haven't even really driven the truck. We drove it back from the tint shop and it's been here ever since. So I'll get a video of that when it's in the sun. But anyways, I finished polishing this side and not sure if I'll post that video before or after, but I finally bought some new steps for the truck. So these are Amazon iBoard APS steps here. They're pretty cheap, but I like the way they look, and it'll be a lot better than these. These are the factory steps. You can see they used to be chrome. I tried to sand it down and prime and paint them with undercoating, but you can see that didn't last very long. Only about, 3 years. So I don't like the way those look, and I don't want to spend the time to get them repainted or powder coated because you still have this ugly bleached out plastic piece on there. And I don't really like the way steps look at all, because I just like the look of the clean truck, but I've gotten to really like them because this truck does have a leveling kit and some 34-inch tires. So it does help getting in because I'm not tall by any means. So, and I like the fact that it kind of protects your rockers from rock chips and stuff. So that, and also your passengers do appreciate the steps. So I found these and I really like the way they look. If you have to have a step, these look nice. They come in like a chrome / bright aluminum and the black. Of course I went with the black. And since I did take the trim off of the doors here, I don't mind having the step there because it kind of adds, it looks a little plain Jane work truck without something. So these steps will be a nice addition. So they're the iBoard again, they're the 4-inch. So I'm gonna show you how to basically remove the factory steps and install the new iBoards. So to take the factory step off, it's bolted in 3 locations on the body mounts. You're gonna have a 19 mil in the front, and it goes into this side bracket and then also up into that top bracket. So that top bolt where it bolts into the body mount is a 19 mil, and I think it's an 18 mil where it bolts in just to that L bracket. The middle one is an 18 mil, single 18 mil, and then this back one is the same. It's got this L bracket. So you've got an 18 mil here and at the top. So the lighting's kind of bad, but this back one, it's actually a 19 mil for where it bolts into the L bracket, and then it's an 18 mil up there. So just remove all of those and make sure you remember where each bolt goes. So like rethread it back in once you take it out, just so it goes in the same spot. Okay, so I got the factory step off, you can see, and it was actually an 18 millimeter, these 3 bolts here. That's all you have to worry about taking off. They go something like up under here and then up right into there. And so that's what this bracket is I was talking about. And on the back side of that, those are either an 18 or 19 mil. For some reason, one of them was bigger, I think the front one. But if you have a long enough extension, then you could just take this one off instead of having to take the step off first and then those brackets. And I just used a breaker bar with regular extension. I didn't use an impact or anything because I don't have the compressor set up, so that's worked fine for me. But sometimes those bolts can be on there pretty tight. Of course, I've taken these steps off before, so they weren't like seized on there. And so, see this middle one, it doesn't have a bracket. It just bolts straight up into there. So, here's what the front one looks like. And bolts right up into there. And so, we got the old step off. You can kind of see what the truck looks like now. Now we're gonna unbox the new one. So another thing I don't like about these factory steps is they're hollow, of course, and they have holes on both ends. And they tried to seal it with this plastic cap here from the factory, but you can see it didn't even work very well, because even after this truck has been sitting for like 5-6 months, it still had water in it, and it was rusting out this bracket that it was mounted to, and so the water was probably up to about there or something on it. There's the back one, so it was in there. It was also pretty rusty, and I had these off and repainted in 2019. Another thing to note, this is the old step flipped upside down. It's just cool to see all the little rock chips that this step has saved from your paint. So that's always nice. This is the back, so it just got hit pretty badly back there, of course. But yep, so that's why steps are nice. Okay, so you open it up, steps come in here. First thing I notice is they're very light, since they're aluminum, so that's nice. There's some weight reduction, weight savings, and gives it a little more payload. So, and there's this little hardware box. You can see, got the instruction manual in there, a bunch of hardware, and looks like some new mounting brackets. So that's nice. Support bracket. So I'll need to get this all unboxed and laid out. Okay, so I read through the instructions, so you don't have to, but I've just kind of laid out the brackets or the mounts here. And the instruction says to start with the passenger side. You can start with either side. Obviously, I'm going to start with the driver, and I'm just going to kind of work my way front to back. And I got all the parts separated. So these are driver side parts. These are passenger side, and then of course both the running boards. Hardware is still in the bag, but these main mounts will just reuse the factory body mount bolts. So you're going to want to just kind of start from here and leave everything loose before you tighten everything up. Okay, got the driver's side front mounting bracket installed. You can see it's just loose here. First step done. So for the front mounting brackets, it's gonna come with these weird, they call them like flat mounting hex bolt or something. And so what you do is you've got these two holes here on the front of the frame. This one that's kind of oval shaped, you'll put it in, twist it, and set it down until it lines up with that front hole. And then we're gonna thread a bolt through there with the mounting support bracket. And that's what's gonna bolt up to here to give this some more support. So you take the mounting support bracket, get a 16 mil bolt that comes with it, lock washer, and a flat washer. And this is going to mount, thread right up into there. Okay, so one thing to note is there are 16 millimeter large flat washers and just regular washers. The manual doesn't say like big or small, it just says regular, and it starts with the regular. So it just says you need a 16 mil washer here, but make sure to use the smaller one because I use the big one and there's only 4 of those, which it doesn't say that there's, you know, 2 different kinds, so you kind of have to know. So I had to back that out and put the smaller one in. So kind of my mistake, but the manual could have made that a little bit better. But so anyways, this is a 2500 HD, so it has a 2-inch taller frame. So this support bracket here, the manual says you need to install this bolt to the frame using that plate mount and then bend it upward. And it's going to bend around this little frame pocket. And that's why you need to keep this bolt loose, is so that this mounting bracket can swing around and you can bend this up and bolt it through here. So here's the center support bracket, or the center mounting bracket. And then right here is the center support bracket. And so same thing, you mount it through, bolt it through the factory body mount, leave it loose, and then use the same bolts there. So the large flat washers go on the inner and outer side of this center support bracket bolt. So the regular size washers go here and there, and leave it all loose for now. So that's the center support. So for the rear mount, you have to assemble these 2 parts together, these 2 brackets. So the instruction manuals, like I said, does the passenger side first. So to do this right, I just did the passenger side one, assembled it here, and then did the driver's side one. And you can see they have the bolts going different ways, just for redundancy. So leave it loose though. So now we're gonna bolt this up to the rear body mount on the truck. There we go, now we got the rear mount on there. So it should look something like this here. Got the 3 little mounts. Next step is to grab one of the running boards and thread the bolts through. So now I got the running board on there, and the bolts just hand tight underneath here. So now you can kind of like slide it back and forth, in and out, and then get it where you like it, and then tighten it all up. It's looking really nice though. Okay, so the driver's side step is completely installed and tightened up. I got it kind of leveled out. I'll show you with it outside so you get a better idea. But yeah, I put this one, the front, as far forward as I could right before that mud flap. And then the back corner, I just kind of lined it up with this body line here. And it works great. I love it. And you can see the frame kind of curves up at the back. So it looks like it's not level, but it actually is. So yeah, I love the way it looks. You can hardly tell it's there from the side because the black frame, but it works very nicely getting in and out. So now you just have to repeat the process on the other side, and then you're done. just like that, we got the passenger side done. Looks very nice. I have a level here. You can see it is perfectly level. This is a nice kit because the holes aren't just a round hole, they're like an oval, so you can adjust it to get it to where exactly you want. Level, in, out, up, down. So yeah, it's perfect. And it's much better than that rounded bar because that rounded bar would start curving back around here, and so you wouldn't have a step back here if you wanted to. Like this is nice because you can step in here to like get to your roof to wipe it down and stuff. So I love this. Much better than the old one, and definitely worth the price compared to like a name brand or dealer step. So